call 20 CF 998, 20 CF 1393, 22 CF 363. State appears by Assistant District or Deputy District Attorney Caleb Saunders. The defendant is here in person and with Attorney Freilich. We're on the court's calendar for sentencing hearing today, as well as sentencing on revocation on those earlier files. Is the state ready to proceed, Mr. Saunders?
I'm sorry, Judge.
Is the state ready to proceed?
We are.
Mr. Freilich?
Yes.
Okay. I've got a copy of the pre-sentence investigation report that was ordered by the court. I have a copy of the independent pre-sentence investigation report that Mr. Freilich had submitted. I've had an opportunity to read both. I've also got some submittals that were submitted by Mr. Freilich. So this investigation, did you get a copy of the other documents, including Mr. Freilich's independent evaluation?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Freilich, the PSI that was ordered by the court?
Yes, by the Department of Corrections, Your Honor. Yes, I did.
All right. Any changes or corrections?
I did. For several hours, we went through the entire document, talked about it, talked about the recommendations that the Department
At the sentencing hearing today?
No witnesses. There is one victim impact statement that would like to be orally addressed to the court, but no witnesses per se.
Okay. Mr. Freilich, do you intend to call witnesses today?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And can you give me a sense of how many you intend to call?
Sure. One would be my client's grandmother, Esther Coronado. She resides in Temple, Texas, and I believe she would appear via Zoom. It's lengthy. It contains an attached alcohol and other drug assessment. I reviewed that entire document report with my client last evening at the Brown County Jail. We had a lengthy conversation, again, to talk about this case. And with that said, I would call Esther Coronado, my client's grandmother.
Okay. Is she coming in?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place you under oath, and then Mr. Freilich is going to have some questions for you, and the prosecutor may or may not have some questions. But I'm going to start by asking you to raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Very good. Mr. Freilich, the witness is yours.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Ma'am, you are,
Yes.
and what is your date of birth?
January 1st, 1942.
Okay. And are you married?
Yes.
Are you married to Juan Coronado?
Yes.
Okay. And where do you live, ma'am?
Yes.
And is that when you moved to the Temple, Texas area?
And no, we moved back home. Yeah, that's in Cthulhu.
Did you ever live in Cotulla, Texas?
Yes.
Okay. Kind of fast forwarding, when your granddaughter, Taylor Schabusiness, got a little older, did there come a point in time where she gave birth to a baby?
Yes.
And what's the baby's name?
Mateo.
And where's Mateo right now?
He's with me.
He-
And
The child lives with you in Texas? So you're caring for Taylor's child, correct?
correct.
How old is the child?
She was very long. 4 hours later, CPS came and took the baby away.
When you
So
say
they-
when you say CPS, you mean Child Protective Services?
yes,
Okay, please continue. We're going to say some more.
yes. have, she home to me until a month later.
Okay, so at the current time, at the present time, you have,
Correct.
and you and your husband are caring for the baby, correct?
Correct.
You sent me some photographs of
Minutes, hour. Baby here at home, and her grandparents. After he was out, we couldn't. To a shelter. So I would.
okay.
So she never came home with me after the. From the hospital, she
With Taylor Schabusiness, you and your husband won?
yes.
I think you sent some pictures. Both love.
Yes, I went to visit her in Wisconsin. That's where we took the pictures because she had her own apartment. She was doing well, and we went to see her.
high school in Texas.
Be about half. Here. It's a
Okay.
interview by the person said interviewed by three someone that said they worked for you.
Okay. Um,
People I know that she didn't feel that were living just from a nice home that she had. Then she ended up living in the basement. But like I said, she never me or said anything. But I went to visit them. Uh, the, they found her guilty and they want her uh, to spend her life in jail. And I think that she has gone through a lot in her short time of being taken.
And ma'am, your granddaughter, Taylor Denise Schabusiness, she's, we agree, 25 years old?
Yes,
She had a brother, Arturo J. Coronado, AJ Coronado, correct?
correct.
And is it your understanding that he passed away, or he granddaughter? Illinois, going to high school at high school, all of that?
Follow some rules, but sometimes she, I mean, she wanted to do something, but like I said, Kate, then she wanted to get back to Green Bay.
Okay. Fair to say that you've always had a close relationship with Taylor, both you and your husband?
Yes, we have. Yes.
You heard about and found out about her involvement with drugs, correct?
Yes, yes, I did. I found out later on because she used to call me, and then for a while she didn't get, she wasn't calling it anymore. But I try and always try to keep in touch with her. But then afterwards, I found out that she was pregnant, and she asked if she could come down and have the baby over here by me, and I said that would be fine, because she didn't have anybody else that she could turn to over there, so she wanted to be by me, so I told her to go ahead and come down.
Okay. Now, she's been found guilty by a jury of first-degree intentional homicide, felony, mutilation of a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault, all felony offenses, all as repeaters. Supervision or possibility of parole or not. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you have any input on that issue?
Well, has gone through a lot, and like I said, first losing her mother at the age of 12, then a year later her father remained, felt misplaced too. Then she went on her own, and all of a sudden
Do you believe that she has good qualities?
yes,
What are
I
they?
believe she's a very caring person and also very trusting. She trusted people that said they care for her, and actually always she was uh, what can I say, that she always end up getting hurt because she trusted people thinking they cared, but she's always have had the problem that wherever she goes, people just use her, and she thinks they care, but they don't. They they have disappointed her.
Do you believe that your granddaughter, Taylor Schabusiness, should be given the chance to possibly be on parole or extended supervision sometime in the future?
I do. I do believe. I know that she committed a crime, and I know that they want her to pay for it, but I believe that she should have the opportunity to come back to society one time and be with her son.
Okay. Thank you very much. No further questions from me.
Any questions, Mr. Saunders?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Were you intending that she was going to stay on the Zoom, or you can certainly disconnect now if you want, ma'am, or you can remain on. But having said that, Mr. Freilich, do you have another witness?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. It's totally up to the court, but if, in my opinion, if she wants to stay on, I would ask the court to consider allowing her to do that.
I think I just told her that.
Okay,
So she
okay.
can stay on if she wants.
Okay, thank you. Next, then, I would call Valerie Armour.
Okay. I don't.
You have to get the microphone on.
Oh, sorry. Is it on? Okay. My name's Valerie Armour. It's spelled Valerie. Armour spelled ARMO.
Okay, the witness is yours, Mr. Freilich.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. You are Valerie Armour,
Yes, I am.
and where do you live?
I live in Dublin, Ohio.
Are you married?
Yes, I'm married.
What's your husband's name?
Brian Armour.
Do you have kids?
Yes, I do. I have 4 children.
Okay. Are you employed, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Where do you work at?
I work at Sun Behavioral Health. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner.
And what do you do there?
I work inpatient psychiatry with adolescents and adults.
How long have you worked there? And tell me your educational background, just briefly.
I have 2 degrees from the Ohio State University. My first degree was a bachelor's of nursing in 1996, and my second degree was master's of science, nurse practitioner in psychiatry in 2016.
Do you know Taylor Denise Schabusiness?
Yes, I do.
Do you see her in court today?
Yes, I do.
She's seated to my left.
Yes, she is.
And are you related to her?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell the court how you're related?
So her mother is my first cousin. Marla is my first cousin, and Taylor's my second cousin.
Are you also here with your mother?
Yes, I am.
What's her And was there a picture of Taylor when she was 3 in a, like maybe a little skirt with a red top and tights?
Yes,
And was she standing by you?
yes, she was.
And who else was in that picture? Do you remember?
Marla was standing next to me on the left, and then my cousin was standing next to Marla.
Okay, and where was that picture taken?
That was taken house.
Okay. So, have you had a connection with Taylor Schabusiness over the years?
Yes, I have.
Did she come to visit you on other occasions?
Yes, she came down for a family reunion in 2013 that we had when she was 15.
That was with your daughter?
Yes,
Was that the picture that you gave me of you in the middle, your daughter on one side, and Taylor Schabusiness on the other side?
yes, it is.
And where was that picture
That was
taken?
taken at a park, I think on the east side of Columbus, where we had the family reunion.
Inside a pavilion?
Yes, inside a pavilion.
Okay. And describe Taylor at that time in 2013 from what you recall.
She appeared to be a happy 15-year-old girl. She had a great sense of humor like her mother. She appeared to be well adjusted at that time. I enjoyed visiting with her and asking her how her life was going. And I'd always told her I'd be available to her after her mother passed away.
Did you know about the losses that she suffered in her life? The loss of her mother, Marla, in 2009, and the loss of her brother, AJ, in July of 22?
Yes, I did. I grew up with her mother. We were very close as children. We spent holidays, summer vacations, and weekends together at my grandparents' house in Grove City, because when I was a child, I had moved to the East Coast. But we spent, weeks together in the summer playing, planning our future lives, playing with Barbies. We were very close as children.
Did you talk to Taylor about her feelings and how the loss of her mother affected her?
I did. I remember at Marla's funeral afterwards telling her I would always be available to her if she wanted to know more about her mother. I certainly would be available to tell her what she was like as a child, and I would be available for her the rest of her life if she needed anything. I lived in a different state, but I've always made myself available to her.
I think you gave me a picture of, tell me if you did, of Taylor and her brother AJ when they were younger, maybe with Taylor eating either a pulled pork on a bun on a plate, or you remember anything like that?
Yeah, that was after her mother's funeral. We were at my cousin's house in Hilliard, Ohio for the family gathering. We had both sides of the family there. Art's family was there and my family was there.
Would you agree that Taylor always had a supportive family, either in Ohio or Texas or Wisconsin?
Absolutely.
And from the context that you had with her growing up, did she appear to be a happy young lady, happy child?
She did at that time.
You came to find out about the charges and the trial and the convictions, correct?
Yes.
You're aware of what she's been found guilty of, correct?
Yes, I am.
And you're aware of the maximum possible penalties and all of that, correct?
Yes.
At least as to the first-degree intentional homicide charge, the statute indicates life imprisonment with either the possibility of extended supervision or parole or not. You understand that?
Yes, I do understand that.
Do you have any comments for the court to consider on that particular issue?
I do. I have some comments about that.
Okay, go ahead.
So Taylor, she comes from a loving family. I know her to be loving. I know her to have empathy. She's capable of love. I believe she has suffered immense trauma in her young life. First with losing her mother in 2009. Anytime somebody loses their mother, at any age, it's a great trauma and a tragedy. So she grew up without her mother, and then from what I've heard, living with her stepmother and her father, I had always heard that they had slept in the basement. So
Who slept in the basement?
that Taylor and AJ had slept in the basement
Okay.
when when her father remarried. We had always heard that in the family. In 2019, we suffered more losses in the family. Taylor lost her grandmother in May, and then in September of 2019, we lost a cousin who was 27 to a motor vehicle accident. That would have been Taylor's first cousin. At that time, at that funeral, when I spoke with her father and AJ, she was doing well. She was working at the cheese factory. Her father, Art, was very proud of her at that time because she was doing well. And then I found out, had lost touch with her during the pandemic, and found out about what had happened when we found out AJ passed away July 1st, 2022. That's when all this came out. So she lost her brother to a motorcycle accident. So our whole family has experienced a lot of loss, and Taylor has experienced a great amount of loss. I'm a mental health professional. She has a trauma history, and I believe she has mental health issues. I'm hoping as she goes forward, she can get the help she needs, and with some deep introspection, be able to work on her issues. And I'm here to be as much as I can with her on her next journey of life, as much as I can.
Do you have any comments on whether she should be considered for the possibility of parole or extended supervision?
I would like her to be considered for parole. I would like her to get a chance later in life to get to know her son. I think that would be very important to her, to be able to spend some time with him in person as she gets older, and other family members who are still around. Definitely.
Do you agree that Taylor needs drug and alcohol treatment?
Absolutely.
Do you agree that she needs mental health counseling?
Absolutely. And she needs to deal with her extensive trauma history.
You believe that she may need medication management?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Is she a lost cause?
She's not a lost cause.
Is she a monster?
No, she's not a monster.
She needs to be punished, correct?
She does need to be punished for what happened, and my family we regret what happened, and we apologize to Shad's family for what has happened.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any cross-examination from the state?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You can step down.
I'd like to call Arturo Coronado next,
Okay,
please. That's fine.
okay. As long as we're waiting, we're going to take the video off of you, Mr. Saunders. There is still the video running, however, for the grandmother. So you can't see her, but she still has the ability to look in, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
Over here.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter now before the court, so help you God? Please have a seat and state and spell your name for the record.
Arturo Coronado,
Okay.
A-R-T, C-O-R-O-N-A-D-O.
Mr. Freilich, the witness is yours.
Thank you very much. Mr. Coronado, good morning. Your daughter is Taylor Denise Schabusiness, correct?
Correct.
And when she was born, she was born in Evanston, Illinois.
Yes,
And she lived with you and your late wife, Marla, there for several years, till when, age 12 or so?
so 2009, yeah.
Okay. And then your late wife, she passed away. Did that take a toll on your daughter?
Of course.
Can you tell me how that impacted your daughter from, from what you saw, what you observed?
Just, she was young. I mean, she lost her mother, and it's just hard to explain, but yeah, things are, aren't the same.
It was a traumatic event for her, is that fair?
Of course, sure.
And then at some point, the family moved from Evanston, Illinois to Green Bay in 2008, is that right?
Correct,
And you came to Green Bay because of a job, correct?
correct.
Okay. And then you lived here for a while in Green Bay, correct?
Yes,
She went to Bayport High School, correct?
correct.
She went to Bayview Middle School, correct?
Howard Tomical School District.
Yes. And then at some point, there were some issues at the Bayport High School, and she went to Cotulla, Texas, correct?
Graduate, yeah.
Yeah. And she lived with your parents, Esther and Juan Coronado, in Temple, Texas, is that right?
Correct.
And she graduated?
Yes, yes, she did.
And was that about 2016 or so?
I believe so, yeah.
When you lived with her, was school a struggle for her, or was she able to do the work?
From time to time, I mean, she did okay. She had some issues. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. I'm just going to see if you could just move the microphone a little closer, or move a little closer, because I can't hear you. Sorry. Would you help with homework and things like that?
Sure.
When you got remarried, did that take a toll on your daughter, Taylor?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay. Did you try to help in that regard to kind of bridge the gap? When she was living in Green Bay as a child, did you get her involved in any sports or activities?
Before I moved up, she was in soccer. She did band for a little bit.
Okay. Swimming?
No.
Okay. With regards to soccer, was she good at soccer?
Yeah.
She liked it?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Did you do some coaching?
I did.
Was that over at the Asco Noble Field, or where was that?
No, this was in Illinois, actually.
Okay. Did she play soccer in Illinois and Wisconsin?
No, I think she may have tried out, but she didn't follow through with it, so.
Okay.
She did a little volleyball as well.
Okay. So she was involved in activities, correct?
Sure.
What about art or drawing or things like that? Was she good at that?
Yes.
Can you
She's
tell?
pretty good. She's a very good artist. She can draw quite well.
Okay. Were you impressed by some of the pictures and things that she drew?
Definitely.
Does she have some artistic talents?
She does.
Does she have a creative side?
Yes.
When she was younger, would she help people? If someone needed help, would she help?
Yes. Yes, she would.
And I think in the pre-sentence report on page 17 of 38, you talked with a probation agent, and you indicated he stated, this is you, you're the he. He stated she was a good person, kind-hearted, and helped others out. Is that what you said?
Always, yeah.
Okay. Now,
Always went out of her way to help.
okay. When she got a little older, after school, did she have a job here?
She did.
Where?
Big Beef City.
Okay.
Her first job.
Okay, what did she do there?
She was she worked the cashier and she did a little bit of cooking in the back.
Okay. Did she also get a job at Saputo Cheese Factory?
That was later on, sure.
Okay.
Yep.
And what did she do over there?
She was an operator. She worked third shift.
Okay.
She worked there about 3.5 years. She did really well.
Made decent money, correct?
Yep.
She liked the job?
Yep.
And when she was working at Saputo Cheese Factory, was she living with you here in Green Bay?
No.
Okay. She had her own apartment?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, she lived with us for a little bit, but yeah, then she moved out with a friend.
Okay. Would you keep in touch with her?
Of course.
Your relationship with her, is it good?
Definitely. Yep.
Okay. Yes?
As much as we could, yeah.
When she was living with your parents, Esther and Juan, in Texas, Temple, Texas, you take family photos there, correct?
Yes.
And when AJ was still alive, you'd take family photos with him, correct?
Of course.
Was AJ pretty close with Taylor?
Yes.
He liked to ride motorcycles?
He just started to.
And would he let Taylor ride the motorcycle as well?
No.
No, okay. But those two were how far apart in age?
About 2 years.
2 years?
2 years, yeah. They were very close.
Okay. They'd get together with extended family in Ohio, correct?
When we could, yeah. Mostly when they were younger.
Okay. And they'd certainly get together with your parents in Texas, correct?
Yes.
And so does Taylor have a strong family support network in the state of Texas and or Ohio?
Sure, everybody loves Taylor.
Think she's a monster?
No.
You understand what she was found guilty of by the jury, correct?
I do.
First degree, intentional homicide, mutilation of a corpse, third degree, sexual assault, all felonies, all repeaters. You understand that, correct?
I do.
You understand the penalties, correct?
Yeah.
And for the homicide conviction, it's life imprisonment, but the issue is whether she gets the possibility of extended supervision or not, possibility of parole or not. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you have any comments for the court on behalf of your daughter?
Sure, I don't think she needs life imprisonment. I mean, the mistakes were made. You know, her not being in the right state of mind when it happened, you know, has a lot to do with it. Her whole life, she was a good kid. You know, drugs mess people up, and that's what happened. But I don't think that she deserves life.
You think she should be?
She has a child, you know, and it'd be nice for her to be able to see her child.
You agree she's got to be punished, correct?
Well, yeah. Yes.
Okay. But is it your testimony that you believe she should be given a chance at the possibility of parole sometime in the future?
Most definitely. Yes.
Or extended supervision, that's what they call it? Yes?
Yes.
You knew that your daughter Taylor got involved with Warren Szabo, correct?
Yes.
And he was the one that introduced her to drugs, correct?
Correct.
Meth specifically, correct?
Correct.
Intravenous drug use, correct?
It was like night and day. She completely changed. It's a different person.
You believe your daughter got addicted to the methamphetamine or other drugs?
Yes.
Do you believe that she should get some treatment, counseling?
She should have been getting treatment this whole time. I don't know why she hasn't.
With regards to your daughter, she has mental health problems, is that correct?
Correct.
She's been to Purvea Health and got treatment there, correct?
Correct.
She's received treatment through Bellin Psychiatric Center in the past, is that fair?
Yep.
She was under a civil commitment order in order to take psychotropic medications, a court order, correct?
I believe so, yep.
That she was found mentally ill in the past by a court of law here in the state of Wisconsin?
Yes,
You were involved in that process, weren't you?
I was.
Trying to get your help for your daughter, correct?
Yep.
Lots of different medications were tried, correct?
That is correct, yeah. Some that, like, she was just a guinea pig for some of that medication that just did not work and probably too strong. Not qualified, I guess, to say that, but just
What-
not work for her.
Sure. And Mr. Coronado, when she was staying at the Nicolay Psychiatric Center, was it your understanding that she was getting injectable antipsychotic medication during that short period of time that she was there?
I believe so.
And then she was released, and then the medication stopped, correct?
Correct.
Fair to say that your daughter had been receiving mental health treatment or counseling for quite a long time since her younger years?
That's fair, yep.
That it would start, then it would stop. There was no consistency. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Do you feel that she fell through the cracks with regards to mental health treatment and all that other kind of treatment?
Definitely.
You talked to the people from the Department of Corrections, Rebecca Chavez, correct?
I believe that was her name. Wasn't
Okay.
sure.
Did you, when you found out that Taylor, your daughter, was involved with Warren Szabo, did you talk to her about the relationship, or did your daughter come to you and talk about the relationship, whether there were problems or it was good? Can you tell me about that?
No, they mostly kept to themselves. I knew she was seeing him, but they mostly kept to themselves. So she was working there, and then she quit her job and just hung out with him. So during that time, when he was out of jail, we didn't really communicate too much.
Was Mr. Szabo abusive to your daughter?
I believe it was, yeah.
When your daughter was living with you, did she ever come to tell you that she was having hallucinations, visual or auditory hallucinations? She was seeing things, hearing things, anything like that?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that, when that happened and what she told you?
Just that she would see shadows, from time to time.
And she'd hear things?
I believe so, yep.
What did you do?
It would come and go. Well, just talk to her, calmed her down, walked around until we were able to get her some help, or try to get her some help through Perea.
You agree that over time, the field of medicine, the field of psychiatry, the field of psychology improves every year, every year. You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, if she was taking the medicine, you know, or if it was around, but I don't think the medicine really quite worked for her. You know, she would be drowsy, it would take a different effect on her.
Make her a zombie?
She didn't feel, definitely, yes.
What else were you going to say?
Just, she wouldn't feel right, her stomach would hurt, you know, and just a lot of issues with the prescribed medicine.
Would you agree that your daughter has redeeming qualities to her?
Sure.
Can you tell me what they are?
I don't know, it's sad for me to sit up here, you know, knowing what happened and stuff, and knowing my daughter the way, you know, she was, and the way I know she still can be. It's just night and day. She was always a loving, caring person. You know, she liked to have fun, you know, liked to joke around a lot. You know, she's not the monster that, you know, she's being made out to be, that's for sure.
You agree your daughter's got to be punished?
I'm sorry?
Do you agree that your daughter has to be punished?
Has to be punished?
Yes.
I'm sure it is.
Are you saying you want the court to give her a chance to get back into society in the future at some point?
Definitely, yes, yes. She need help, mental help, for sure.
And
Is she gonna get that help? You know, from whatever happens, you know, moving forward, I don't know, but she definitely needs help.
and is she able to love?
Yes,
Is she able to form relationships with family members,
definitely.
friends?
Yep.
When she lived with you, did she have friends over sometimes or bring
All the
people
time.
over?
All the time, yeah. She had many friends.
And did she like to go to Ohio to visit extended family over there?
Whenever we would go, yeah. Mostly when they were younger.
Your daughter, do you think she's a lost cause or not?
No. No.
Think she could be fixed?
Yes, for sure, definitely.
Gonna take some time though, right?
Yeah. With the right help, of course.
Nothing further from me. Thank you.
Cross-examination from the state?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. You can step down. Mr. Freilich, another witness?
Yes, I'll call Dr. James O'Donnell, Your Honor.
Okay. Dr. O'Donnell, if you want to come on up.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter now before the court, so help you God?
I do.
Please have a seat and state and spell your name for the record.
James O'Donnell, James, O'Donnell.
Okay, then, Mr. Freilich, the witness is yours.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Dr. O'Donnell, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Can you tell us briefly about your education?
Yes, I have a bachelor's degree of pharmacy from the University of Illinois, a doctor of pharmacy from the University of Michigan, and a master's degree in nutrition from Rush University.
Previously, you testified at a motion hearing, correct?
Yes, sir.
And your curriculum vitae or your resume was previously filed with the court, correct?
Yes.
What professional experiences have you had?
I spent 5 years as a clinical pharmacist at the Cook County Hospital, responsible for developing pharmacy services and consulting with physicians, nurses, and patients on drug therapy. I spent 12 years at the Presbyterian St. Luke's Hospital with similar duties, but during that tenure I switched from clinical pharmacy to clinical pharmacology, research and practice. During that time, I was appointed to the faculty of the Rush Medical College in the Department of Pharmacology, first as an instructor and then promoted to assistant professor, and currently I'm an associate professor at the Rush Medical College. I ended my hospital work at Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's, gone through a couple name changes. In the late 80s, since then I've stayed on the faculty and have extensive faculty experiences, but also at that time I expanded my work in consultant work, consulting first with pharmaceutical companies, some government agencies, that pretty much switched to forensic matters and civil lawsuits and criminal matters in courts for various criminal events. Along the road, I've published 350 or so articles, including several dozen book chapters, all of which address, not all, but most of which address the adverse effects of drugs, but primarily therapeutic, but also recreational drugs. And I have edited 8 books. The last 8, number 8 hasn't been printed yet, but it's still in the printing and final editing process. 5 of those books are titled Drug Injury. The books address issues of both therapeutic and recreational, including amphetamines and methamphetamines and stimulants. 2 books address issues of the science of drug development. That's a brief review of my 43-page resume.
You've worked as a clinical pharmacist?
A clinical pharmacist and a clinical pharmacologist.
What are you currently doing?
I'm currently an associate professor working at the Rush Medical College in the affiliated with the Ovarian Cancer Research Lab, a member of the Institutional Review Board for Patient Safety for Investigational Studies, and a member of the Admissions Committee for the Medical College, and I also give lectures and seminars in the bioethics course in the graduate college. I described my editorial work. Unfortunately, that book is not finished. I intend it to be my last book. And then I do this forensic consulting, primarily in civil matters, but I do work in criminal matters like this, and that consultation work in civil and criminal matters is throughout the United States, including, obviously, Wisconsin.
You're in private practice, correct?
Yes, sir.
You do forensic consulting, correct?
I'm sorry?
You do forensic consulting?
Yes, I do.
What's the name of your business?
Pharma Consultant Incorporated.
And that's in Illinois?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever testified in court before?
Yes, sir.
How many times, sir?
More than 400 times in 40 years.
In what states?
Approximately 35 to 38 states, including Wisconsin. There's, you can estimate 10 to 12 states that I haven't given testimony in.
You testified here in Brown County in other car crashes involving reckless homicide, correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you testified in any homicide cases?
Drug-induced homicide cases and other homicide cases I have testified, and have testified in death penalty hearings. Testified in most of the criminal testimony is in things like DWI and aggravated OWI, or drug-induced homicide by vehicle, or selling drugs to people they kill the people and they arrest the person that sell or give the drug to them.
Have you testified in state and federal courts?
I have, including in Wisconsin.
Have you testified for private defense attorneys, for prosecutors, for U.S. attorneys?
Yes, yes, and yes.
The topics that you've testified about, can you briefly tell me about that?
It's civil matters. It's did the drug cause an injury or not? If so, how did the drug cause an injury? What could have been done to avoid the injury? Within civil matters, since I'm also a pharmacist, I evaluate whether or not the pharmacist committed errors, violated standard of practice, if their error or violation caused injury to a patient who got the wrong drug with the wrong directions or was not cautioned about an interaction between one or the other drug. Those are the only cases I testify in the standard of care of a health professional.
Have you worked with drug testing as well?
I've done that in my training and for a period in a research sabbatical 40 years ago. I don't do drug testing. I do interpret drug testing. That's done in a toxicology laboratory or a hospital laboratory to evaluate that toxicology results into a clinical context and what those numbers mean in terms of what effect it would have on the individual from whom the samples were drawn for the toxicology testing. And I have also given lectures on principles of toxicology in a graduate college.
Have you dealt with pharmacokinetics and detection periods?
Yes, pharmacokinetics is part of pharmacology. It is what the body does to the drug, and detection period, by definition, is how long the drug can be assessed, analyzed in various body fluid, be it either blood, saliva, and urine being the most common, and urine being the matrix or biologic sample that for which the longest detection period exists.
Have you worked with government agencies?
Yes, many. Wisconsin Board of Pharmacy, Illinois Board of Pharmacy, Illinois Departments of Mental Health, Public Health, Attorney General, Drug Enforcement Administration, United States Attorney, United States Congress, Chicago Police Department. There may be a few others.
Wisconsin Board of Pharmacy?
That was the first one I mentioned, yes.
Have you ever examined patients to determine the beneficial or toxic effects related to drugs?
I did that in my clinical practice in both the Cook County Hospital and Presbyterian St. Luke's Hospital. Over the period of about 20 years, I've done that in my forensic practice. And indeed, one of the other things I do is I do private consulting outside of any type of litigation for patients who are seeking answers or assistance on medication management, and sometimes patients are referred to me by their physicians to help solve their puzzles, solve their problems.
Okay. Now, with regards to this case, you were retained by the defense, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what did I ask you to do as far as services in this case?
You asked me to evaluate the matter, evaluate Ms. Schabusiness' chronic and acute drug use related to the homicide, introduce so to review police reports, videos, autopsy, toxicology of the victim, pre-sentence. I've read since then pre-sentence investigation reports. I did interview Ms. Taylor, the defendant, before the hearing I was here for. I think it was in June or July. And I provided you with my opinions as to her drug use, her drug history, my assessment as to the toxicity from primarily an intense, high-dose, almost daily intravenous methamphetamine use on her brain and her behavior, and also reviewing her psychological and psychiatric history, what effects those her methamphetamine use would have on her mental illnesses that she was diagnosed with. So I didn't do the mental illness diagnosis that was done by mental health professionals, but I considered what effect the mental illnesses would have on the drug use and vice versa, because that's part of what I do. We look at the drug, but again, get the clinical context. So what is this drug use, either whether it's quantified or actually measured in the exact amounts, or qualified, described as how frequent. Look at any evidence surrounding this as to what or how the drug use affects an individual's life, and then take into incorporate the clinical context of prior psychiatric treatment, psychological and psychiatric diagnosis, any psychotropic drugs for any mental illnesses, the effectiveness of those psychotropic drugs, whether or not the patient was compliant with the medications, whether or not when they use the medications and were not using methamphetamine, whether their behavior enhanced. So it's a lot of moving parts, but that's what a pharmacologist does, in contrast to a toxicologist that just looks at the numbers and says, this is how much was used.
Yeah. You understood, or you were provided information as to the events that happened with regards to this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
You're aware that blood was taken from a bucket and then used for testing purposes, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall what drugs Taylor Schabusiness admitted to using up to and during the date of the incident?
Yes. She was using methamphetamine and marijuana, cannabis.
Daily?
Marijuana daily, methamphetamine almost daily. Those are her words. So there were some days she didn't use it, and that was over the course of approximately a 2-year period, with the exception of when she became pregnant, decided and stopped drug use, but drug use resumed after she gave birth and lost her baby, came back to Wisconsin.
Methamphetamine is highly addictive, is that fair?
Extremely highly addictive, one of the most addictive drugs that we know.
Based on your
psychiatric